Hello everyone, this is James Shore with another test-driven development video. It is still August 21st for me. I'm recording this right after the last video, so picking up where I left off. And when we left off last time, we had just gotten a new field onto our table. After looking at it, I realized that I really wanted to be able to read this across and say, well, our starting balance was 10,000, then we add 7,000, then we sell 695. And then we sell taxes 232, and then we see growth, and our ending balance is 9981. So I want this to all read across. So this needs to be a negative value and end here. So I'm going to do the same thing that I just did. Here, I want this to be um, zero minus yearly spending. And of course it's going to have the wrong value. It's going to expect minus 36 was actually 36. And then I fix it fairly easily. But this is a change in the domain rules that I'm doing here. And as such, makes me want to revisit my domain and figure out what exactly is going on there. What is wrong with the model that makes this so clunky? And by wrong, that's not meant to be pejorative. It's just meant to be, you know, what's going on here? And let's see if now we can run across the columns like I wanted to. So it's 10,000 plus 7,000 minus 695 minus 232 plus 907 equals 16,980. Oh, well, I can't just add in the cost basis like that. So that makes me wonder if I should put the cost basis somewhere else. Well, I can't really. So it's start balance of 10,000 minus 695 minus 232 plus 907 equals 9981, which is close enough. I mean, the actual values are high precision, but we're not showing that in the UI. So that works, I believe. And then on the next one, we should be able to say 9981 minus 695 minus 232 plus 905 equals 9959. Perfect. All right, and that cost basis is, I think it's kind of important to be able to see that, because as you start selling, once you get below a certain amount and you start hitting into that, it becomes relevant because it affects your taxes. Yeah, I think that's probably good enough. Okay, so in order to make this work, though, we have to do this very awkward minus thing. And what that makes me think is that we have a dollar amount, sure, but really cash flow is directional. I mean, I'm not an accountant, so, as usual, don't take this as financial advice, but my understanding is that we could be withdrawing from this account, and that's a minus in this account, but putting that money into a different account where it's a plus. So for example, here this growth is a plus, but it's a minus for somebody else, in a sense. Similarly, this minus the sell orders, when I sell the money out of this account, it's going to show up in another account. And it's going to be a plus there, not a minus. What I'm doing here is I'm looking at it from the perspective of this particular account. So that has some implications for a domain model, but you know what? It may be too early to get into that level of sophistication. We don't actually have multiple accounts yet. That's something I'd like to get to eventually, although, you know, at 15-minute episodes, we may never get there. It takes a lot of time to get anywhere in these episodes, even though with, 131 episodes under my belt, I think we're still in the first week of full-time work if this had been full-time. Even if we multiply that by 4, it's still the first month. So it's, even though it's been nearly a year of me actually recording the videos. So anyway, I'm not sure what my point was there. So I think what I want to do, rather than deal with multiple accounts, because we may never get there, and don't want to add a whole lot of complexity to something that doesn't particularly, or doesn't necessarily need it, I think what we need to do is just modify the dollars class to support the concept of flipping the sign. And how exactly that's going to work, I'm not sure yet. Let's start by doing it in valid dollars because that's simplest, or that's a nice easy place to start. We've got addition, subtraction, minus to 0, percentage, min, and then we get into the renders itself stuff. To make that a little consistent. So I think just a flip sign would be appropriate. So we want to say that 0, nothing happens with 0, is unchanged. That will be easy. Valid dollars. We have a $20. So valid dollars dot create 0. Actually, let me see, what do we have here? I'm just looking, and now what I'm doing is I'm looking at this and thinking I can make this code a little bit simpler. So we're using the same numbers over and over again. Like here I could say $20. And here I could say $20. And that should all still work. Yep. Here we've got $20. I think it's important whenever you go into a class you haven't visited a while, you'll have the closest thing to fresh eyes that you'll ever have. So it's a good idea to go through and just clean things up when you do that. So like here, I think this value 0 could become $0, and then that I'm going to put up here. Okay, so now that I've got 0, there's minus $20. Yeah, that's all starting to look pretty good. So, all right, so back to the branch. Flipping the sign, we should expect a 0. Doesn't. Yeah, 0, 2, 0 should be $0, and $0 dot flip sign is still $0. Now, of course, we don't have a flip sign yet, and I'm not going to add it to dollars. I'm going to add it to valid dollars for now. This should fail. Actually, no, this should pass. Because 0 is 0. Oh. Oh, I do have to add it to dollars. Darn it. Because these are all... No. Because I've got flip sign returning dollars, but I have to return... I'll just make that valid dollars for now. A few episodes ago I was saying what I liked about the type system. Well, this is what I don't like about the type system. Ay, ay, ay. What am I doing? Oh, it looks like that create returns of dollars. And of course it has to because it could return a negative. Okay, so that's kind of a pain in the butt. And this is probably why I wasn't using a lot of standard values before. So I can't use $0 here. I have to say valid dollars dot create 0 and valid dollars dot create 0 dot flip sign. And that still returns a 0. Ah! Well, that's a little annoying, but we're out of time, so I'm going to have to stop here. We'll pick this up again in the next episode. So thanks everybody for watching. I will catch you next time.